What up, what up, what up? We back in life with your boy Purnell. DJ Illinois ain't here with us today, but that's all right. How you doing? How you doing out there in the world? How y'all doing out there in the world? How y'all doing? Okay, today's podcast is brought to you by A God Amongst Kings clothing line. Clothing for the future kings and the future queens of the world. Okay, so we got a special guest back. He's back.
He's back.
He's back. Chuck, what's up, baby?
What's up, fam? How you been, man?
Oh, man. We've been busy. How you been?
Busy, but good. Blessed, good. Just heard from my son today that's playing overseas. They lost today, so they didn't make the playoffs, so he'll be coming back sometime in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
But he ended up averaging about 13 points a game, about 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. So he had a real good experience over there, man.
Good. We happy to hear that.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Be happy when he get home safely.
Yeah, me too, because you know what? I want you to bring him on our podcast and give us a little insight on, his career and, what he enjoyed and didn't enjoy overseas.
Yes, sir. We can set that up for sure.
Yeah, so thank you. So we haven't even talked in like a month.
Yeah, been a minute.
Well, at least not on the podcast. We did Black History couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we had the APHIS Black History Month program just for the kids where we checked out probably about 25, 30 kids out of school for the day.
Yeah.
Had them come out to APHIS.
Yeah.
We taught and quizzed them on Black history, icons, heroes, and sheroes, which today was great, but a little disheartening with how little our young brothers knew that day about our history.
Right.
And lets me know that we got a lot of work to do. When I say we, it means the Black community.
Right.
We have a lot of work to do in our homes and in our community and APHIS because there's a lot of things that I took for granted they would have known that they really had no clue about when it came to just simple, I would think, simple
Black
heroes
history.
and sheroes.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
And you know what? As Black men, we do got to take a lot of credit for our Black young kids not being taught what they supposed to be talked about Black history, because we already aware and we already know that it ain't really being talked about in schools.
Yeah.
So, like you said, now you really getting a sense of what they aware of and what they're not, the knowledge that they don't have in Black history.
But I think even some of that, though, I think I got a lot of that in the home growing up. I really do. Like, I think...
You did. Back in the day, I thought we did.
I thought there was just more cultural awareness of what happened before.
Right.
So when I'm growing up in the 80s and 90s, I think I had a good grasp of what was happening in the 60s and 70s, not only from school or a little bit from school, but I just think the uncles and the moms and the grandmas and the aunts, like, I just remember hearing those stories and having those books in the home and having those posters on the wall.
Right.
That, it was a little disheartening, and it lets you know, like, we got a lot of work to do.
That was like the Black Panthers era too type.
Yes.
So it was, Black history, I feel like, was bigger. Like they had more of a stake in letting us know who we was back then.
Yeah, more vocal leaders that was really talking about where we came from, what we did, why that's important, what to stand on, what to believe in.
Right.
And I don't know if we've got those kind of, Dr. Umar maybe, those really outspoken, Minister Farrakhan maybe a little bit, but he's not as vocal as he's gotten up there in age. I don't know if we've got those vocal leaders anymore.
Because I was going to ask you, what do you think may have caused the separation, the gap in between Black history and Black kids?
Homes. As I said last time, the further up the chain we get being successful or being what we think is success, usually monetary and military or materialistic wealth, the further we get away, I think, just from wanting to stay close to our culture and our roots. So as people think they've made it, or got up out the hood or got up out the ghetto, still talking about that in your home becomes
Right.
less important
Right.
for whatever reason. For me, raising my kids, I mean, that was part of, we celebrated Christmas, but we also celebrated Kwanzaa.
Right. So now I never knew about Kwanzaa growing up.
Yeah, like it was something big in my boys. Like they knew, like 7 days after Christmas, we were celebrating Kwanzaa. That's an African American, made here by a black man in America for black people in America holiday. That's probably the only real black holiday we have, made, created for black people in America.
Right.
Martin
Other
Luther
than
King.
Black History, but
Yeah, but
that's
that wasn't.
not,
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So. Martin Luther King Day, we celebrated. They read books. We talked about it. Black History Month, same thing. So I don't know. I think we've gotten further away from that because people think they so-called, well, I've made it. I've gotten out of the hood. I've gotten out of that situation. Teaching this to my kids ain't as important because if we just, right or wrong, if they just keep their head down and they work hard and then they get a good job, then they don't have to worry about that and it won't affect them.
Right.
But as we know, it's always going to come back and affect them because every year, Florida just had a young black male that was mentally challenged, killed by police in Florida just recently.
Right.
So it's like it's always going to come back that you need to be aware of who you are in America as a black man or as a black person. So,
and then there's a situation also in Mississippi.
Yes.
Are you aware about that?
Yes.
Mr. Carter,
Yes.
25 years old, body dismembered in various along I guess like a mile and a half in a rural area in Mississippi.
Yes.
Now they saying they believe it's foul play because he warned his mama that, hey, some guys from my job, I believe, may be trying to kill me or something.
Exactly. Yes.
And they feel like that's a cover up now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a major cover up. Yeah, I believe so too.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why it's like I think we got to still be aware of teaching this to our kids. That
Right.
Not only our struggles, but how to be aware and how to carry yourself and know your surroundings, know your situation wherever you always are. But we seem to get away from that. So that day was great, though. I mean, the kids loved it. We were able to feed them, get them out of school, show them how to work the DJ turntables. They really like that.
Yeah.
Show them how to work the cameras and take some pictures. And all those pictures are on the APHIS Facebook page, but also the LP Entertainment Facebook page. So you can see the
LLC.
pictures. All the pictures the kids took, showed them how to do a podcast. It was really, really powerful because like the kids say, like they're looking forward, like when's the next time we get to get out of school and do this? When's the next time we get to do this? That we get to get around black men as young black boys and learn from you guys what it takes to be successful, what it takes to be creative, entrepreneur, whatever it may be. So yeah, it was a powerful day, man. Powerful day.
And I got a little bit of backlash off it and probably just as equal much love on there where, people are, come to me and say, hey, that was a great job. So, what do you feel about like the little backlash? Because you always going to get some of that anyway, no matter what you're doing in life.
It's white noise or gray static where I don't pay attention to it. Like, I've always been like a firm believer since I started APHIS 25 years ago that if I'm doing the right thing, God got me, nobody else mattered, dog.
Right.
Like the naysayers, you didn't do it exactly right. If I was you, I'd have done it like this. What's stopping you from doing it? Like the same way I just started APHIS from nothing, got some homeboys, hey man, I need $50 each from y'all. We finna do this little event this Saturday for these kids in the park.
Right.
Somebody else can start one too. Like don't criticize me, start your own. If I'm not doing something you like at APHIS, do something on your own.
And that's getting into probably my next question about the backlash that you've been getting about APHIS in the programs that you're starting.
Yeah. So every year we get some kind of backlash. And my thing is always, if someone's going to say something personal, one-on-one to me, we had that one-on-one conversation. You saying it over drinks at a bar in town, then you say it over drinks. But if you put it out there publicly, then Charles Clayton is going to respond publicly.
And you responded in a major way.
No, but that's attacking, APHIS is my baby. I created this thing 25 years ago from nothing. So that's like if you attack one of my kids publicly, I'm going to have something publicly to say to defend my kids.
And that's for all you kids that come for APHIS. This demand sticks up for every last one of y'all.
I'm going to fight for them, and I don't care where that lands me in life, because, again, what's the worst that can happen to me? Because God's got my back. No weapon formed against me will prosper, because I always have believed he's got my back.
Right.
So that whole situation was basically just like, if you don't like APHIS, you could have said, hey, don't take your kids to APHIS. Charles Clayton's an asshole.
And you would have accepted that.
I can be an asshole, so I'm not going to respond to it. Cool.
Right.
But to say all that other stuff about a money grab and people made a program in spite of them and whatever else, nah, you said this publicly. I publicly have to respond, because I got to make sure that people know what we stand for in this community, which is money has never been anything we've chased. Me and my staff are probably the lowest paid nonprofit people in the world. Right. Volunteer more hours, give more back than anybody. And for someone to say that, it was just like, nah, you can't just say that and walk it back privately. Right. If you want to walk that back, do it publicly. You said it publicly. Right. So get on Facebook and say, I shouldn't have said that. Right. Not call and text and try to. Nah. So
did you have any apologies about that, or have anybody spoke to you and said we was wrong, or?
So he reached out himself. So Tom Kenseth reached out himself, tried to call me, tried to text me.
Too late.
I don't know if it was really an apology though, bro, because it was like, it wasn't meant for Facebook. I didn't mean that to get posted. Can we talk about this like men? Like, nowhere did I feel like it was, I'm sorry. Right. I shouldn't have said that. I was wrong. Let me tell you why I feel that way. Right. To me, it was a major, once I was at work, because I wasn't even on Facebook. I was coaching. I've got some moms over the years that are very protective of APHIS, because their kids, we have done right by them. Right. White, black, Mexican, Hispanic, Asian, it don't matter. Right. They look out for APHIS. So 3 or 4 of these moms are getting a hold of me like, hey, did you see what this comment was? And they had already screenshotted it and sent it to me. I didn't screenshot it. Yeah. Because I'm at work. So I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, do you want me to respond to it? Like, Chuck, I'll go. Like, I'm telling you, these moms are like, I'll go ham right now. Like, hey, what do you want me to say? And I was like, y'all good. Thank you. I'll take care of it. I went on and said, hey, I got a screenshot of this. I will be responding later. And then he tries to call me, leaves a voicemail, tries to text me, blah, blah, blah. And my whole thing was, since I was in high school, I always thought you was probably a certain way. Right. I've shared that with you probably 2 or 3 times over the last 30, 40 years. You proved to me tonight with that bullshit, you are that way. Right. It's bad that when my mom hears about this, and over the last 30 years, whenever Tom Kenseth's name came up, my mom said, that man never liked you for some reason, Chuck. Yeah. How you not like a kid? Well, how you a professional? How you a professional? Are you a teacher and you don't like a kid? I was in 9th grade.
We grew up being hated anyway. You know that. And when we was just out on the fucking playground just playing, motherfuckers didn't even like that. It was always a problem with anything we did as black kids.
And so that's the thing where it's like, black kids shouldn't have to feel that way. And my whole thing was like, I'm gonna respond, P, because it's like, this is why I created APHIS anyway, because you got poor kids, you got minority kids, you got poor white kids, poor black kids that always have to feel that way by someone who's supposed to be a role model, a teacher, and an educator. Nah, you can't still get away with this.
Don't put yourself in a position where you got to do damage controlling.
You can't you can't still think you're gonna talk this way. Yeah. I'm a grown ass man.
Yeah, and then they think like I be getting the perception that a lot of people like they have that that chip on their shoulder where they feel like they can say anything they want to do, say or do or anything, but once you speak like they speak, then there's a problem.
And that's always been the thing where I think when my mom said, that man just never liked you. Right. It's like, because I've been this way at the way I talk, outspoken, vocal, since I was born. Like I didn't let teachers, principals, you talk to some of my homeboys, they remember like a principal in the lunchroom at the middle school one time, like, I had to embarrass this dude because, like, you're not going to talk to me a certain way.
Don't embarrass me and think you not embarrassed. I can't embarrass you.
I had to embarrass him, man, because it's like, you're not going to do me that way. I've always been that outspoken because it's like, again, I always felt like I'm going to speak Chuck's truth.
Right.
I don't care what everybody else think about my truth. If I know it's my truth, I know I'm not trying to be malicious, vindictive toward anybody. I'm just speaking my truth. Chips can fall where they can fall. I don't give a damn.
And here's my thing is, they have a problem with people who stand up for themselves. You know, and I don't want to just say they because I don't want to be on no racist shit,
Me
you
neither.
know,
Me
or
neither.
nothing. So let's get this completely understood. We're not on no racist shit, but don't fucking be mad at us because we are aware of the conditions and the situations that we living in.
And we speak about it.
And we speak about
Just
it.
because I speak about something that's perceived as being maybe racist or disproportionate doesn't mean I'm calling everybody racist. I'm speaking the truth.
Right.
Can we talk about it with everybody else maybe getting mad, getting offended, wanting to cancel somebody, holding your ass tight? Because I'm going to speak it.
Right.
I'm going to speak it. And you can like me, you can not like me. When I come to you, I'm going to speak it. If I see it, it's my duty to call out the bullshit.
Right.
I gotta do it.
If anybody out there listening to this podcast, you feel any type of way, you can get in touch with me. Come on here, let's talk about it. You can have your voice.
Yes.
Because that's my whole thing is your opinion matters more than mine. That's my whole logo, my whole slogan.
Yep.
You know, right? So if you hearing us speaking about an issue and you have a voice that you want to opinionate, come on this podcast and we'll talk about. We're not gonna deny you. You know, we're not gonna embarrass you. We're not gonna get you on here and try to make a fool of you because we know there's always two sides to every situation. And just because we look at a situation in a certain light, we're not going to disrespect you for looking in that same situation in a different light.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So come on here and we'll discuss, because this is how we get issues taken care of, and this is how we can have a voice and everybody respect what we saying and what we got going on.
It's the only way to get change in the world. Like if there's a problem or a perceived problem even, like people have to talk about it. People don't want to talk about those things today because they don't like the yuck. They don't like the messy part. They don't like the stress part. Like you got to go through the yuck.
They don't want to bust the egg open.
You got to get messy sometimes. And then it's like if you're mature enough, you get through it and you get a solution, but you can't avoid race. You can't avoid poverty. You can't avoid sexism. You can't avoid them. Like all these things are real. Yeah. They're real. And you got to be able to talk about them, get uncomfortable, maybe get your feelings hurt. Maybe you hurt somebody else's feelings. At the end of the day, love.
Yeah. And this goes for everything from LGBT community to politicians to black and white issues to landscaping.
Yeah, nobody wants to find the middle ground anymore. That's the thing.
Everybody feel like they right about everything. Nobody want to say I'm wrong when they know they wrong. You know, and I feel like, you know, I started this podcast because not only did I want to get a different perspective out there in the world that doesn't have a voice, you know, I also wanted to put my truth out here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So this is like a platform for me to be as real as I can be.
Yes.
You know, and in the midst of that, I say, okay, look, you got a business, you got a nonprofit organization, whatever you may have going on, come up here and talk to me about it, and we can see if we can get that to the rest of the world, you know. See if we can get a solution to our problems.
Yeah, or at least get the conversation started.
Because that's going to get to the solution.
Yeah.
Once we even start talking about it, that's the step forward to even seeing the bottom line.
And that was my thing where it was like some people got a hold of me and said, hey, Chuck, man, I know why you went on and you did that, but maybe you guys just could have talked. Maybe that's like, I didn't do anything wrong.
Why would you feel like you did something wrong for defending yourself?
I don't need to go talk to anyone. Like, if that person that started the whole thing publicly really felt like they should have, if they made a mistake or they wanted to apologize, whether I made the post or not, if you want to apologize, you still come apologize.
Right.
I ain't heard from them since.
Why you feel like that? Why you feel like that? People are more obligated to come say something to you about the situation opposed to saying something to the person who said it?
It could be a few things. I don't think it's all bad because some people, they feel like they have that kind of relationship with me.
Right.
Some people just out of caring. I had a couple people just come out to APHIS, man. Like one guy came out, I've known him for years. He's older than me. He's one of my Masonic brothers, actually. And he was just in tears. And he was like, man, can I just give you a hug? He's just like, man, I hate that people are attacking you like this. So it isn't all bad, but my thing was I wasn't upset. I wasn't angry. I wasn't depressed. I just had to speak my truth because someone publicly came after my kid, my baby. APHIS is my baby. Like, talk what you want about me. I got a lot of flaws.
Right.
APHIS being a money grab is not one of them.
Right.
APHIS doing
And I know
kids
that
wrong
I
is
know
not
that
one of them.
personally because
Like,
I've been involved with APHIS for a few years now, and my son as well.
Yep.
You know, and every time we get to APHIS, we come together as black men and we look out for each other.
Yes. Yes. And we look out for everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just we've done too much good, black, white, economic don't matter, race don't matter, religion don't matter for people to say that. So I just had to publicly say my piece. I almost didn't want to say it because I have always had a great relationship with his daughter. Great person, great individual, great mother. Respect her so much, but it was just like, I gotta say this. And I just didn't want anything bad vibes between me and her, which there isn't. She assured me there wasn't. But again, it wasn't like I was mad or anything. It's like, you can't publicly say this and not expect me to publicly say something back. And if you really wanted to apologize, was it so I didn't post that? Or because you really felt sorry about what you said? If you really felt sorry, everybody knows where I am. I'm at APHIS.
Right.
You wouldn't find Chuck. All you do is hang out for APHIS for an hour. My black ass coming through there.
I'm
at some
coming
point.
I'll be right back
I'm
to
there
my
more
baby.
I'm there more than I'm home.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
it is what it is, man. It's water under the bridge at this point. You know what I mean? Small things to a giant.
Right.
Move on with my life. Do the next thing. Save the next kid. Save the next family.
Right.
Writing a lot of grants right now. A lot of them on the violence in the community that we've gotten a couple back that have blessed us to be able to hire some violence responders and prevention specialists that maybe can help with some of the violence we got in the community. Writing some reentry grants that we hope to be able to do things with. So it's like chapter turned. Hopefully he learned a lesson from that. Hopefully other people learned a lesson from that.
Because he got it.
And we move on.
That went viral.
Yeah.
So you went viral, mister, for being a hater.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, I think that's what the Call on the Texan was about, was I don't want the viral backlash if Chuck posts this. I don't think it was really to be sorry.
Like I said, it was quality control. It was damage control.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he seen,
I
okay.
didn't feel any sincerity in it.
Yeah. And I think I feel like he once he seen how many people start commenting on it, once he seen how many people start sharing it, I'm pretty sure you probably had 200 or 300 people share this now.
Yeah.
Because I shared it.
I think it was over 300 shares.
I shared it,
Yeah.
and I know 3-4 people shared it off my page.
Yep.
Right? Because right is wrong, right is right, and wrong is wrong. And that's how we trying to live life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the whole thing is, why would you come and try to tear down, destroy somebody who's probably didn't help your family?
And has. I mean,
You know what I mean?
Got some sisters and some family over there that have come through APHIS.
You feel me?
That's what I could have went deeper
And you
than I
don't
went on
even got to
things.
go deep now.
And I didn't want to go there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like, the record speaks for itself. It's like, I've been doing unselfish things in this community since I took over Frontier Days.
Right.
Frontier Days. You know this country and western.
Right.
Now, I didn't grow up country and western, P. I didn't grow up country and western.
Already.
Dude. Run DMC, LL Cool J, Kumo D, Fat Boys.
Yes, sir. We know about them.
But it was something like that the community needed, and no one else was going to step up at the time. So
Right.
I was blessed enough to have Terry Cook, guy that runs a candy store here in town, be my right-hand man and say, Chuck, if you going to be crazy enough to do this,
Terry Crook.
Terry was like, I'll help you because, again, I've just unselfishly, nothing in it for me, been doing things for the community that you can't say that about me. No, you can't. You can't do that.
And
No, sir.
What is Terry relationship to Audie?
No. Terry Cook. He's not
Cook,
a Crooks.
not
yeah.
Crooks.
Yeah.
Okay.
He owns Candies and more in town. Just
Okay.
yeah, just great guy, man. Like just love Terry to death. He was a person that when I raised my hand in that meeting and said I was going to do it, immediately after said, "You finna do Frontier Days? Like, do you know what this is about? Do you have these kind of connections?" Nope.
Well,
No one was going to take it over, Terry.
Yeah.
We can't let it die.
Right.
He said, "I got you."
Right.
And got you, he did. I mean,
Yeah.
I called my homeboys right after that, Murph and the crew, and it was like, "Hey, y'all, Alonzo was one on my call. We just took over Frontier Days." They said, "What the hell you mean we just took over Frontier Days?" I said, "We finna run Frontier Days for the next 5 years." Yeah. And did a decent job at it. We did a decent job at it.
That's the way to do it, too.
Yeah.
And you know what? I know for a fact the community is very proud of you.
Yeah.
I know this for a fact, of all colors.
Yeah.
Because I talk to people all the time, and when Chuck Clayton name been brought up in something, you know this shit is real. He ain't on no bullshit. He's making sure these kids is getting where they need to get. If they need help, he's giving them the help.
Yeah, that's my heaven points, man, because up until 22 years old, I probably wasn't have a lot of heaven points.
Right.
So it's like my life wasn't living the right way and wasn't doing the right things. And it was like probably 22, 25-ish. It's like, I got to turn my life around, man. And it's like my mom raised me better than what that's that Black history thing. Like,
Yeah.
my mom raised me better than what I'm portraying in the streets.
Because you trying to, your portrayal in the streets generally happens when you trying to satisfy somebody else, when you trying to, make somebody smile or look at you in a certain way.
For all the wrong reasons.
For all the wrong reasons.
And so I just had to really like take a look at that. And like, to me, like I tell people Black History Month, to me is like making sure that I remember all those sacrifices and that I honor those people. Like
Right.
I honor the ones that have come before us and died and got dogs and water hoses and lost their life and had their kids taken from them and was in jail. Like, and I'm gonna get out here and be on some knucklehead or some disrespectful stuff. Like,
Right.
now that's what it means to me. Is like I owe. Like I
Right.
owe. Like that's I it's an obligation for me to do the things I'm doing to live my life in a life that uplifts my community, my race, my kids to be proud of me. Now my grandkids, like that's an obligation, man. I don't have a choice. So.
And much like you, I never looked at it as I owe. I always looked at it like it was my responsibility.
Yeah.
I was obligated to give the knowledge that I learned, because for one, we living in a time where they're basically trying to delete Black history anyway.
Yeah.
They're from
it's being changed.
Yeah, from Florida, burning books. And all that is just rewriting history, which has been going on since the beginning of time.
Control the information, you control the people.
Exactly. And that's how we got to this point now from where creation started.
Yeah.
They took and what I understand about through life, there's always gonna be a war. And there's always gonna be a winner of the war. And what they normally do, whoever they conquer, they basically destroy their history. That's when they step on who them people was. That's when they burn their books and they they start teaching their kids differently than what they know.
Yeah, they want to stay in power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that's been happening from the beginning of the time. It's just, I think Black people or minorities or, whatever you want to describe yourself as, we need to come together, have more of a critical conversation. So when we end up in a situation where we got to go to war, because I feel like it's going to be another civil war in America.
I think that's more of, if there's a civil war, hopefully it's fought for the right reason, because this ain't about Black and white people.
Right.
It's about have and have-nots.
Right.
It's about economics.
Right.
So really it's just like, why don't all the have-not Blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians
come together?
Why don't we all figure this thing out?
Yeah.
Because that 3% of haves, this ain't a race thing. And they got a lot of us yelling at each other about race and yelling at each other about sexism, yelling at each other about sexual preference, it has nothing to do with any of that, man. It has
Nothing.
nothing to do with a wall in
They
Mexico.
trying to hide the money situation.
Man,
That's all they doing.
How can we keep all these people gassed up? Can we
About
gas?
bullshit.
Yes.
They ain't making no dollars or no cents.
No.
But
no.
we so involved in it
Yes.
that we don't even realize we losing financially.
Yeah, and then we fighting and arguing with people over stuff that is just like, not really, this person probably loves you, but you argue with them about race. You argue with them about sexism. You argue with them about property taxes. It's like, really, this is probably your brother that will love you and fight for you. They got us arguing about all this dumb shit, man. So
This
it's
shit
like,
that don't even matter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, like you say, we know the difference.
Yeah.
It's all about coming together and actually practicing the difference.
Exactly. Seeing through the smoke screen.
Okay.
So like, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say like just my tools and my jewels. So my tool for the day, man, because I told you I was gonna say this when I came on.
Yes, you gotta drop us some tools.
So there's young people or even somebody at any age that's going through life right now and just wondering how you're gonna get ahead. Always remember that a tree doesn't stop growing to hang out with the grass, even though they started in the same dirt.
Say that again.
The tree doesn't stop growing to keep playing with the grass, even though they started in the same dirt. The tree isn't going to stop its growth. It's because the grass stopped growing. Grass only going to get so tall.
No, I didn't want to give you a round of applause because I wanted to make sure you said that a couple of times. Because, you know, if you say something once, sometimes it just flies over people's head and they don't catch what you're saying. But when you give it to them a couple of times.
And a lot of people, I think you can hold back your own growth sometimes and not become that tree or that oak you're supposed to because you want to stay around the grass. Well, we started in the dirt together. We got planted at the same time. We always have been together. We always have hung out. Yeah. Now God says, I want you to grow. I'm going to stay down here. But I want you to grow. Right. Like, you can't stunt your own growth.
Because you don't want to, what do they call that? Survivor's remorse or some shit?
Some of that plays into it.
You know, where you just...
I made it out, now I feel guilty.
Damn.
My family's at home struggling, but I'm finna graduate from college, but I got a brother on crack, a sister out in the streets, my dad in prison, and I feel guilty that I'm graduating from college. No, you're supposed to be the tree. Be the tree you're supposed to. Grow as tall as you're supposed to grow. Like, it's okay to leave that grass down there where it's at, because that's that grass's level. Right. Some people's just grass.
Some people dirt, some people grass, and some people trees, huh?
Don't stop your growth.
Don't forget about the bushes.
Don't stop your growth, bro. Don't stop your growth. And I see it with middle school and high school kids all the time. Right. They don't reach their potential and they stop because it's like they just don't want to outshine or grow to what they could be. And it's like, you're gonna regret that.
Because you know, a lot of kids be getting like, you know, teased for going places. And so they don't want their friends to know they smart because they hanging around a bunch of dummies.
Yes. Brother, one of the saddest things I've heard over the last 5 years was they wanted to put this little brother in TAG, talent and gifted classes. And he said, Chuck, I can't go in TAG. That's for white people. Black people don't go in TAG.
Man.
Broke my heart, man.
For real.
Broke my heart.
Because he know his peers, bruh, they in the lower level classes. And
they're gonna clown him if he go in there. They're gonna ridicule
make him feel like a nerd is the wrong thing to be.
Yes. Yes.
Because you're not street.
Yes. Yes.
And this is what we need to educate our kids on so much more. I tell my son all the time, school is cool. Yeah. Having an education is where it's at. Going and starting your own business is what life is about. Not going fucking to school all your life just to go work for somebody. Get your own where you have people come work for you. Yep. Because that's what they're not teaching our kids, how to be business owners.
Yeah, entrepreneurship is not something that's taught enough at any level.
At any level.
At any level.
Because you know why? The whole system is designed for you to go to school and then you go work for a firm or a big corporation, but you continuing to get the whoever, it don't matter. Like you said, it don't matter what color you is at the top of the mountain, but these people who are at the bottom of the mountain are still getting you paid, and they don't even know how to get themselves paid.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Still, we might have a house, we might get a car, but we still living check to check.
Yeah. And stressed out because we want all this materialistic stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Stressed
just
out though.
people being able to, and again, I say mainly young people, but there's probably older people in life too need to hear the same thing, that it's okay to outgrow those around you. There's
I'm
nothing
learning that.
wrong
I'm
with
learning that now. I'm just,
I bet you
I
are.
just turned 45, and I'm finally letting go of people
Yes.
that I realize, and I love these people to
Yes.
death though, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm just like, damn, if I don't allow you to move away from my life, then I've been doing this shit for years and years and years, and same damn outcome.
Same outcome.
But you love the people that you fucking with, so you like, okay.
Yeah. I was blessed enough, man,
Yeah.
to actually figure that out at a young age, because that was something, talk about ridicule, that with my boys, like I didn't let my boys do a lot of stuff with
Right.
the wrong family or friends, and people would get mad.
Right.
Like, man, family is getting together and doing this.
Hmm?
Nah,
Now, if I know my family is on that,
and we know
and
some
we
of our
know our family, because
So there was a lot of birthdays, P, a lot of reunions, P, a lot of
Then the
get-togethers that it's like,
Yeah.
now we got a tournament this weekend.
yeah,
Now we got to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And we got training.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to outgrow that grass
Yeah.
to be the oak tree God intended you to be. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And like you said, you're probably going through that now because you're finna go into, if the more successful this business gets for you, the more you're going to have to figure out who you got to kick to the curb.
I only got one person left.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
I only got one person really left, and
I mean,
I'm appreciating him.
I
for
mean,
real.
because it's going to get to the point
Sometimes
that
it get like that though.
it just does, bro.
And it's not really, and see, this is what a lot of people got to understand about business. You got to keep your feelings out the business, because if you start making things personal, then you're gonna make the wrong moves, because now you're thinking from anger.
Yep.
You're not thinking from logics and knowledge.
Or not even anger, sometimes love.
Or love. Yeah.
KRS had that song
Yeah.
back in the day, Love's Gonna Get You.
Yeah.
Yeah, love can crumble you as quick as anger
And I
can.
was just talking about that. That's the trees in the
Yes.
dirt in the grass.
Yes.
You gotta know when to let
Love them
if
from
love,
afar.
Yes.
Love them from afar.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I can't have you right underneath me. I'd love to
Right.
give you this job. I'd love
Yeah.
to bring you inside, but I know your work ethic.
Yeah.
I know what you do behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I know that you really ain't mature enough yet. I can't
Yeah.
have you over here by
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
You gonna sabotage the whole thing from the inside out.
Man, I didn't have to get rid of a lot of people over the last 25 years with APHIS. And a
Right.
lot of people done left, and Chuck a sellout, and Chuck a this, and he ain't real that, and he ain't. Okay.
So what's the best?
I'll be all that.
What's the best? Not just for me, for any business man, any business woman listening to this podcast, watch this video when we put it out. What's the best advice you would give to someone who they know they got a good business and they've been running it, but they get into the little mud area where they stuck? You know what I mean? They don't know exactly how to push forward. What advice would you give us, should I say?
That just know when you're going through the mud that every successful person's gone through it. Like the mud is there because, again, without the mud, I'm gonna go back to the tree. Like the tree ain't gonna grow without the dirt. And some days it rains. You know what I mean? I mean, bro, you don't know how many times it's through APHIS over these last 25 years where it's like, I'm gonna go before APHIS. You don't know between 92 and 2004 when we launched APHIS officially, even though we was doing it about 2000, how many other failed business attempts I had before APHIS clicked. Tried to do a club, that didn't work. Tried to do clothing line, that didn't work. Tried to do concert promoter. I mean, I was promoting rap concerts in Dodge back in the 90s, bro.
Right.
Like all these different things like failed.
And I've been through the same thing. Same thing.
So then when APHIS came, it's like, man, I went through the mud and it's stuck again, but it's like I learned to embrace that, like,
Right.
oh, God giving me this because he want to make me stronger. Like
Right.
this mud is going to build me 5 years from now. When I go through it again, I can get through it.
Right.
Because you're going to go through it in 5 years. Whatever you're going through now, you're going to get through it, P.
Right.
And then you're going to go through this shit again.
Okay.
It's going to happen again. But you just got to understand that it's like that's part of the process. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong.
Right.
It's part of the process, bro. It's part of just you got to fight through it. And don't waste your energy, your emotion, your frustrations on the people that walk away or leave you. Because like I told you before, this is your dream.
Right.
This ain't their dream.
Right.
I can't be mad at anybody that leaves or has left or I've had to get rid of an APHIS over the last 20 years because APHIS was my dream.
Right.
That's still a good-ass person. I just had to let them go or they walked away from me because APHIS wasn't their dream.
Right.
Their dream was to do something else. So I can't lose sleep or be frustrated or now not want to be cool with them. Like, I still love them.
Right.
Like, yes, you're right. This ain't worked out for us here. Go chase your dream, and hopefully in 10, 20 years, I can support your dream too. But right now, like, this is your dream. You can't be mad at anybody else. It ain't worth your energy when those people fall to the wayside on you, even though it's frustrating.
Right.
It ain't worth your energy.
And we had this talk before this, like weeks before this.
Yeah.
And I think you might have been seeing certain shit coming my way. And it was kind of warning me. Because, you know, once I feel like when we talk about things and then when we talk about shit again, I get the going back into our first conversations or our initial conversations. And for me, it feels like Chuck was trying to tell me something. You trying to tell me something every time we speak. I know that. You giving me some tools.
Yeah.
Right? But I felt like now that we talking about it now again, that conversation that we didn't have with nobody else, just me and you, you was telling me and you was warning me then, like, hey, when I come back and talk to you on your podcast, you know shit's gonna be different, right?
Because it was different for me. Like the guy I started off with, man, it's like,
and you wish they could be here, man, because the talent and the man, I already know.
And it's again like people you was close with, people you was tight with, people you was related to.
Right.
Nah, it just wasn't meant to be. Yeah. And then not saying anybody was a bad person or malicious person or did anything evil or wrong. That wasn't their dream.
Right.
APHIS was my dream.
And I think I'm more like every day. Damn near every minute, every hour of the day, I'm learning that more and more because it's like reality checks.
Yeah.
And it hits you hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's another
and it'll
reality.
hurt you. If you ain't ready for it, it'll gut punch you.
It been gut punching.
Yeah.
I just be like, you know, thank God I have, you know, a couple people to vent to. Yes. Thank you, Brian. No, seriously.
And you need that.
You know, just because I know one thing about the fucking devil. He dwells in the idle mind.
Yeah.
And you think the worst fucking shit that ain't even going on, there ain't even nowhere near what's really happening because you're not communicating with that person.
Yep. Yep.
So when you ain't talking to a person, y'all just, you know, going about how y'all feel or how y'all think, and you know, like you say, your feelings.
Yeah.
And that'll put you in a fucked up position.
And it's wasted energy. That's why I said that you can't waste your energy. You got to focus all your time, your energy in building your brand, building your baby, building your business, being upset, being frustrated, being down the dumps for a couple of days.
Right.
You know, you can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's like, and don't, no ill will toward them.
Right.
It just wasn't their dream. You chasing your dream, bro.
Well,
you chasing your dream. I
appreciate you being my mentor. You have been a mentor to me.
We all need them. And I think that's another thing, like as men, and I'm not just men in general, like men don't like to have mentors.
Well, I don't care.
Men don't like to have people. Men don't think we can vent to another man.
Right,
like, and shit, you're gonna be a mentally unhealthy motherfucker if you don't find somebody to vent to.
I learned that early.
So I wanted to stop and say, I didn't want to just say black because I think all men are this way, but I think in the black community, because of, I'm gonna say it because of our hip hop culture, I think it's worse for black men that we really don't want to have another black man as our mentor. We really don't want to go vent to another black man. It's like, I think men in general are on that bullshit, and that's why men die of heart attacks probably more than women and everything else. But I think black men were worse, Brian. I really do. Like, There's nothing wrong with that. I've had mentors in my life since I've been 25 years old, man, that I can call, I can talk to, I can vent to. That, again, if you don't do that, you ain't going to be mentally healthy.
Stable.
You're
Yeah,
not going to be healthy.
yeah,
You're not going
yeah,
to be healthy.
yeah.
You're going to keep all that stuff in, and it's going to crush you. I just talked to another young brother in town. I know that he was like, man, Chuck, I think I'm going to start therapy. He's like, you better.
Yeah.
Oh, man, but I don't want to go. No, man, I don't want to be that vulnerable.
Stigma.
I don't want to open up.
That's
It's
the
like,
stigma.
It's you
Listen,
better. You better.
I'm gonna tell you something. I always looked at as therapy as kind of like weakness.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I always like when I said or even had a conversation about going to see a therapist or anything. It was like for me, it was like, that's some shit white people do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Black people don't do therapy.
Like black people, we hold our shit, right? Because we do.
We don't hold it. We self-medicate. Let's be honest.
Okay.
Let's be honest.
Well, I'm saying we hold it and we implode from
Yes.
inside out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But here's my thing. So my wife passed away a couple of years ago, as you know.
Yep.
And my mom passed away when I was
I know.
younger than my son.
Yep.
Right? And I had looked at my own life and I said, man, I'm fucked up. I've been going through all these years. Nobody talked to me. I never seen a therapist. Nobody even asked me if I'm okay. Nobody, you know what I mean? Nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I felt like a lot of my family just kind of just let my mom be forgotten. We didn't celebrate her birthdays. We didn't do nothing.
Because they was all hurt and didn't want to say nothing.
Right?
Yep.
So we never had I never talked to nobody about
closure or anything.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So with the situation with my son, I say, now I looked at my own life. I done been to prison. I done been homeless. I done did this, that, and the third. And I say, my son is about to go through this same cycle. If I don't do something to give him a chance to be rehabilitated from this pain.
Yes.
Right? So I said, we going to therapy. Me and you.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
And we went to therapy for a year, and it did help us.
Yeah.
It did help us. Even though we ain't in therapy now, and I have asked my son, I said, you think we need to go back to therapy? And he didn't go against it. He's your dad, if you think so, maybe that's okay, know, right? But the whole thing is that I allowed myself to not keep going with that fucking same bullshit that black people don't do therapy and black people don't need nobody to talk to and we can handle our own problems. And I was like, now I'm like, maybe we all should get some therapy. Like the people that I be like friends with and talking to, like male and female, like it's just like we all fucked up. we are all fucked up for real.
It's crazy that we got on this topic today because me and Murphy Washington, we just had a conversation yesterday, and he was like, man, Chuck, maybe we need to get the brothers together in our Black Male Coalition group. He was like, maybe we just need to get brothers together once a month, man, and just talk. He said, because brothers need healing. And it's like, maybe we just start getting together and it's like, hey, it's just no agenda, but if you want to talk, we're here to listen today. No judgment, no nothing.
Give us an AAA.
That's what he said.
Give us an AAA, man.
He was like almost like an AA meeting was like, if you're dealing something with your wife, if you're dealing something from your childhood, dealing with something for your kids, child support, it's like, brothers need to talk about stuff.
But we need to deal with brothers that can hold your word confidence. Like they ain't gonna go by and see. This is the thing about brothers.
Pillow talk you later.
Right.
Yeah.
Not even on the pillow though.
Yeah.
In the streets.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And
I agree.
And far as I think I think that may be like my biggest pet peeve about Fort Dodge community. You know, we have a lot of brothers that come together, and then we have a lot of brothers that don't come together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then we have some brothers that actually come together, but they play both sides of the field.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But again, I'm gonna take the you're 100% right, but that's all races though.
Right.
Like everybody do that. Like these
Right.
problems aren't unique to the black community. We
Right.
want to act like they are sometimes, but they're really not. Like
Right.
everybody does that.
Right.
We just being sometimes disproportionate on the wrong end of things, we probably need it more than other races.
Right.
But every man is going through stuff like this. I don't care what.
Right.
I'm a prison reentry program. White,
Right.
black, Mexican, rich guys come from totally rich families to one family totally poor. Like they all going through this and dealing with this. And it's like a lot of that is that part you said of the confidentiality. Can we really trust
Right.
someone ain't going to take my business? And put
Because
it
that's
somewhere
why
else?
people don't put their business out there. That's why men in general don't speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
we talk
we-
about sports, haircuts, money, women. Keep it as fake as
in
we can keep
cars,
it.
in cars and houses. You know what I mean? But when we come to our personal,
Yeah.
when we no.
Nope.
I'm not about to tell you what I just went through with this girl.
Yep.
I'm not about to tell you how she cheated on me.
Yep.
I'm not about
And how
to
it really felt
and
when
how,
she cheated.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the stuff where it's like, we just have to come like maybe we need to start something where men can come and heal and
Right.
talk and get that off, because if you don't, you probably ain't having the best relationship with your spouse. You probably ain't having the best relationship with your kids. You probably ain't doing the best job you can on your job or in your own entrepreneurial business. You probably aren't 100% in one or all those areas because you carrying all this weight on you all the time.
You talking about me, man? Why you always analyzing me and shit though?
Man, but the only reason I can do that because this is another thing I've always said. Like, I'm 100% honest with myself enough to know that the key to being the shit is knowing you ain't shit. So anything I tell somebody in confidence, they can go tell it in public because I ain't shit anyway. I'm not that important.
You should have
in
heard
life.
my last podcast.
I'm not that important in life. So somebody can run and tell all my business because it's like, am I fooling myself thinking that if someone goes and tells my business that it's gonna shake up the world?
Right.
I'm not that important.
No.
It really ain't gonna be that big a deal if they go tell something I
Right.
just told them in confidence. Like it really ain't gonna make a difference
Yeah.
in anybody's life because really I'm not that important.
And that's why I said this like my truth serum. I come listen, I come on this podcast and it's no holds bar. And if it's something that against me,
yeah,
I'm open about it.
yeah,
Like I don't understand that I can go in the streets and I don't want motherfuckers to know my business, but this shit's on fucking radio stations going. Maybe because they don't see me.
maybe.
You know.
But me and you always gonna have this relationship, I think, even
Right.
though like you said we didn't grow up really knowing each other, but I think from the moment we met each other, we always had this real, no BS
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That the connection was just real from the tip. So
Because somebody that if I'm not mistaken, it was Uncle Steve who told me who you was.
okay.
And I can't forget, I'm sorry, I can't remember who also told me that if I had anything business-wise that I need to do, that I need to get with you. I have to remember who told me that. But I know for a fact, Uncle Steve was the one who said, this is your cousin. You know, and I was like, who's Chuck? You know, that's your cousin.
Yep.
Chuck Clayton. He owns the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And that's about somebody we give some flowers to. Yeah, let's get some flowers, Uncle Steve, before we get off here today.
man, Uncle Steve, we love you, baby.
Love you.
We love you.
I mean, and you talk
Yeah.
about entrepreneur blood, just in his body.
Ribs and chicken.
Forever. I mean, he's been doing this for 30, 40 years.
Yeah. Clayton Ribs and chicken.
Have the place down there right across. Used to be I think the old Big Three right across from the police station. He had a rib place down there back in the day, and then out by the hotel he had it.
Yeah, I remember that the hotel 10 years ago.
And so it's like watching him always trying to get this business off the ground and be successful and not quitting. Like, that entrepreneurship, like I studied that, man. I watched Uncle Steve do that, man.
Yeah,
So nothing but flowers and love,
Yeah,
man.
nothing
Yeah.
but flowers. Uncle Steve, we love you, baby. We love you. You gave us a lot of knowledge on business because I watched them too.
Yeah.
And I also seen his food trucks and his
Yes.
different locations, you know.
Yep.
And I talked to Uncle Steve. Like, one thing a lot of people don't know. My mom's brothers and sisters are my mom, or is my mom and my dad.
Yes.
Because like my Uncle Emmett, rest in peace.
Yep.
We love you, Uncle Emmett.
Love you. Love you.
That was my dad.
Yes. Yes.
No, I'm not lying to you.
I know.
To the point where his son, when he passed away, me and his son, we close. We brothers.
Yeah.
Me and AC is brothers.
Yep.
Right? He came to me, he said, man, you the reason why I started coming around so much. He said, you and my dad had this bond, this tight ass relationship, and I kind of felt left out.
Got you.
He said, so when I knew you was in town, because I knew you going to come over to my dad's house.
Yep.
Hey, my uncle called me on the phone when I'm on the highway. Baby, where you at?
Yeah.
You drive safe. You got your seatbelt. You keep that cruise control on the level, right?
Giving you all the trucking game.
Yeah, because he was a trucker.
I know. I know.
Right? And he said, call me as soon as you get in town.
Yeah.
And yes, sir. Because I love that man so much to death, man. I swear to God. And I'll do exactly what he said do.
Yeah.
And my cousin be like, hey, man, I'm here because you here.
Yeah. I ain't gonna let you get too close without me being over here too.
Exactly. And I felt him, and I told him, I said, hey, man, you know, I really ain't got, you know, I got my dad, you know, I love my dad, but he's in another state, you know, and I don't have a mom. I ain't had a mom all my life,
Yep.
you know, so I'm gravitating to the closest people to my mom,
Yeah.
which is her sisters and brothers. And thank God, hey, to all my mother's brothers and sisters, I thank each and every last one of y'all for treating me like your child.
Yeah.
So
we gonna end on that, man. As far as like, just put the challenge out, like, and this to everybody, not just black men, but just men in general. This is gonna be the challenge. Like, reach out to, if your biological mom and dad is still alive, reach out to them this weekend. Tell them you love them and how much you appreciate them.
Yep.
But also those other aunts, uncles, family, friends that was like the next mom or dad to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Give shout outs to them, reach out to them, because they might not always be here. Growing up, I know it was like Miss Bessie and Miss Lillian and
they just passed.
yes,
And
man.
they just passed.
You know, and
R.I.P.
Alice is still here.
R.I.P.
But those were like the extra moms and the ones that like held us down.
Right.
So take a shout out this weekend, people, and to give them people their flowers if they're still around before it's too late.
So the challenge is get with all your family members that you love.
Yeah.
Especially your parents, especially your grandparents. The ones that you ain't even thought about in a month. Get with them.
Yeah. Give them some love.
Thank you for coming out to our podcast, Chuck.
Oh, always, man. I appreciate it.
As usual.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Once again, this podcast is brought to you by A God Amongst Kings clothing line. Clothing for the future king and queens of the world. Thank you guys for joining us.